Hello bookworms. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that many of you might be facing as readers: balancing reading or writing and school or work. That wind is going to bug me this whole time. As many of you might know, I am a college student. I go to school full time. Right now I am taking 16 credit hours, and I have 5 classes a week spread throughout the week. Other years I have had 18 and a half credits per semester, so I have become pretty good at balancing my academic life and social life. Social life as much as one as I have while being an introvert, because I am very much an introvert. I don't really like talking to people or partying or anything like that. So today I've got my notebook. It's so pretty. So pretty. I took my notes in it for today's video. So you might see it in the frame. I don't know if you can. So today's video is how to balance work and play. And I come from a background that has been very structured for me. When I say that, I don't mean like I had a very strict life. I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and I did everything in high school. I went to a very small school, so everybody did everything. I was on sports teams, I did plays, I was on I was in clubs where we went on trips and did like competitions and things, so I was busy. And my brother and sister also do stuff, so we always have to keep track of everything. So my mom kind of set in stone, like, always to keep track of everything and have like multiple calendars going. I should get my phone so I can show you things. I'll be right back. So the first thing on my list of how to balance work and play is to try to stay organized. I need my other notebook. I'm a mess. So the first thing on my list of things is to try to stay organized. Now, that's a very easy thing to say, like, I am an organized human. I'm looking at my room right now. My room is complete trash. There's laundry everywhere. My basket's full of clean laundry, and all the dirty laundry is everywhere else. A saying my mom likes to say is, creative people are messy people. And I feel like that is true of the environments that we live in for the majority of us. I know for me personally, I have a very most difficult time focusing on mundane things like cleaning. I get distracted very easily. A lot of times when I was little, I would listen to an audiobook while I was cleaning and end up just laying on the floor listening to the story. That still happens. But I think that my school life and things outside of that are structured. So ways that I do that are when I get my homework assignments at the beginning of the year, as a student, or not the year, the semester, I collect all of my syllabi, and I have an app on my phone, and I'll give you a couple options depending on what type of phone you have, because I have had an Android and I have an iPhone now, and there's a couple apps that I like. The first app that I used when I had an Android was called Tasks, and it's just in your phone. You don't have to download it or anything, and you can set a task list, and you can put the day that it's due, you can put the all the information for the assignment and the time you need to get it done by. There's your assignment, it's in the syllabus, it's in your phone, you have it right there. The one for the iPhone is under the Reminders tab. So I don't know if it'll show up on my phone or on the camera. It's that little guy in the middle there. And open it up. You can see I have some things in here from other lists of things that I knew I needed to do, because sometimes I will make lists in the Reminder app as well as the other app that I use for homework. So like here I had Moby Dick. I needed to do my journal. I needed to do a blog post for a review. I needed to read and do a couple other things. So I like keeping lists in that. Another app that I like to use, I downloaded. It's called My Homework app. Ignore the Snapchat notifications, but it's the little guy with the pencil right there. And this one I really like because if your school actually has a class that is registered with the website, all of the information from their syllabi will be directly there. You don't have to like input it all by yourself. I go to a small school, the information is not there, so I have to input it. Side note with like if your school does have it, it is individual by teacher. So it's not just, oh, the school's automatically going to do it all. Your teacher has to input the information. Extra work for them, but it's also extra work for you. Divide and conquer, maybe? Bring it up? I just haven't. So what I like about this app is it also has a website. So say I'm in class and I have my laptop and I can't pull out my phone at that moment, I can check it on my laptop to see what else do I have due today. So on the menu section here, you can have homework, classes, your calendar, so you can see what you have for the week or the month. And there's teachers, like if you have teachers that have made it. But then it has in list format all of the assignments that you have, and then you just slide it to check it off, or that's to throw it out, and to check it off it does a nice little green check. So I really like using this app because it's with me all the time and I know what I have to do for that day, and it's all at a glance right there. The next thing is an agenda. I have an agenda. I'm really bad at using agendas. I don't know why. I don't know why they're any different than, say, the app. I've tried a lot. I get really expensive ones and I'm like, they look so pretty, and then I don't use them. I'm working on it. It's something I'm working on. The last thing on my list of ways to stay organized is bullet journals. I have a sort of bullet journal. It's nothing pretty like the videos you see on YouTube, like with Boho Berry or anybody like that. I would love to be able to have one that pretty, but I'm trying. This one is not ideal because it doesn't open like a regular book. It's actually a graphing pad, but it has the boxes so I can check things off. And on this, I like having the things like the bullet journal. I'm not going to go into detail of what a bullet journal is, just because it is a complex thing, but I will link some people in the description below that have some very good videos about what a bullet journal is. But I just like having it because I can make lists. I am definitely a list person. A lot of my notebooks will just have random lists of things that I need to do, and then I will forget what notebook I'll put it in and I'll make another list on top of that. This I actually had my first experience yesterday of, I left this in class and I knew I had to go back after because it was in the theater and I had to go back and finish a project that I had due. So I knew I needed to go back and get it, and it wasn't like I wasn't going to have it for the night when I was going to be working on things and I would need the list of things I needed, but I felt lost. And I've only had a bullet journal really. This semester was when I really started doing it, and not in this one. This is the second notebook that I actually got because it had the graphing, but it was the first time I really felt lost without it, and I was like, wow, I'm really attached to this concept. So if you need something structured, I would definitely say look into the bullet journal concept. The next thing on my list is plan how you want to do things. And what do I mean by this? So when I look at the list of homework that I have for that day or the next day, I'll look at what is going to be the longest assignment. So like tomorrow, I have one class and I have one meeting in the morning. So I know that tonight I need to read the 2 acts of Othello that I need to read for homework. Friday, I also have a couple other little readings. But I know Othello is going to take more of my time and it's due tomorrow, so I should do it today and really focus the hour chunk of time that I have for it. Other times to be like, I need to memorize lines, but I also need to read this. What order do I do things in? Or I need to do laundry, but I can do that at the same time as doing this. Does that make sense? Like figuring out what takes priority, but also what is going to take a longer or shorter amount of time and ordering it that way. My next tip is to write everything down. Write down all of the homework that you have for the week. Write down any appointments you have for the day, the week. Write down any homework, any future assignments you're going to need to keep track of. Write down everything. You may think you will remember it. I promise you, you will not. I write down assignments in my notebooks. I write them down in my phone. I write down appointments in my phone. And I'll write them in my bullet journal. When I do it, I don't have just a daily list. I have a weekly list that I do either Sunday or Monday, depending on like what I was doing Sunday, if I forgot to do it or not. I do a monthly log at the beginning of the month with everything that I know I have, and then I'll update it throughout the month. And I'll have the daily list of things I have for the day. That means I have no excuse for forgetting it because it is in my phone. So this once. It's in my monthly, twice, weekly, it's 3 times that I've written it down. It's in my daily, it's 4 times. That might be excessive, but for me, with how busy my schedule is, it's something I have to do. For example, I have 3 shows I'm in April, and I have 2 papers due the same day for a professor. I might be switching and talking with my professor tomorrow and changing the assignment day for one of those papers. I'm going to have that written down everywhere so I don't get them confused, because I have known since the beginning of the semester that they originally were going to be on 2 days, and I don't want to mix up what day what assignment is due. These are also my final papers, so I really can't screw it up. And I'm also going to be in a tech week for that particular show, prepping for a performance that weekend, so I will be very busy. I will be very busy and I cannot slack off. I'm mainly thinking about this keeping organized because my April is going to be hell. The other thing that I want to say is this is mainly keeping organized with school. So how do I make time to read? How do I make time to write? Honestly, I do specifically schedule it. And there is days when it does not happen. I tend to like to read and tell myself that I'm going to shut down the part of my brain that really has to focus on things at 10 o'clock at night. For some people that's really late, but for me, that's relatively early. I know in my house everybody tends to go to bed at 10. I don't go to bed until 11, midnight, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. It's because I feel more active and awake at that time. So that's when I'll go to bed. So I'll need that time to really turn my brain off. And I like to do that by reading either off my phone or a real book, or listening to an audiobook. Pro tip: when you're listening to an audiobook before bed, always put the sleep timer on so you don't lose where you were. And you're not going to remember. But specifically schedule time to read, and also to write. I find it harder to schedule time to write because I don't like knowing this is my assigned time. I tend to do it randomly. Like, I've been in this notebook in class. My professors are really cool about not really caring what you're doing in class as long as you're paying attention. I've started a brain dump while in class, and today I actually drew a rough sketch of a map of my world so I could try to figure out some things racially within my characters. So I would say schedule times to do it, but also give yourself the flexibility to know that it's not always going to happen. I personally believe school is very important. I am under the constraints in a way where I have to have a certain GPA or keep my grade above a certain point to have my job as an RA. To have my job as an RA, but also to have financial aid. So grades are very important to me. My average GPA is about a 3.4, 3.5. I've only ever had one C, and that was in costume design, because I can't draw, and I'm not very good at sewing. You can see the issues there. So that's the only C I've ever had. That was the lowest grade I've ever had. So I feel like I'm a pretty good student. That's why I should take me seriously in these tips. But yeah, if you have any tips on how you stay organized, I'd love to hear them down below and to keep this conversation going. You can follow me on Facebook at the Scripturant 101, and that's the same on Instagram, Scripturant 101, and my website is www.thescripturant101.weebly.com. I am very active on Twitter. I try to post a couple times a day. That is the only one that is different. It is Scripturanting because someone took the Scripturant. Why? Who else is going to take it? But that's how you can get a hold of me. I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on this subject and how you keep organized. I hope you're having a great day. Bye!